Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode on the podcast. I am super excited to share this conversation with a good friend of mine, Morgan. She is a kinesiologist and she works with energetics and bioresonance to help you align your frequencies in the physical, energetic, and spiritual realm. If you haven't heard of kinesiology before, she explains it in the podcast, but Morgan has been a great friend of mine. She came through my program when I did a 2-day event, and we've been friends ever since. And it's been amazing to watch her grow and flourish into the teacher and leader that she is in the world, sharing her knowledge of helping you shift your frequency. This was such a great conversation because Morgan shares so openly and vulnerably about her experience with endometriosis, how she's using these practices to heal herself and improve her life, and also how she's helping her clients with similar things and helping them to raise their vibration and to improve their daily life. We also deep dive into topics such as learning to embrace all your emotions, the importance of self-trust and self-acceptance on your healing journey, spiritual hygiene, how to maintain and clean your energetic field, finding joy in daily practices, and so much more. This was such a great conversation, and I feel like each and every conversation I have on this podcast, there's so much little bits of value that you can take from it and maybe that you can relate in your life. And this one definitely has bits where if you're on your healing journey and you're wanting to raise your vibration, but also learn how to accept parts of you that you've been holding on to and holding against for so long, then this is going to be a great conversation for you. Just before we kick off, as always, I want to say thank you so much. I get to do what I love and love what I do in doing this podcast and having these conversations. I film, edit, produce all of this myself, and I've been doing it for 6 years now. And yes, I've had a few breaks in between, but it honestly brings me so much happiness to meet these incredible people, have these conversations, and share it with all of you. And the fact that you've been leaving ratings, leaving reviews, sharing on social media just means the world to me, whether it's on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever it is. The amount of support has been incredible. There's also been some not so nice comments, but hey, that comes with things. But to be able to share, these little clips, and I see them as like seeds of inspiration. If we can share a message from a podcast that maybe impacts your day or someone's day around the world, and they get to become more conscious, but also receive a message that makes them feel better in that moment, then man, we've done our job. So every share, every comment, every rating, every review that you do means so much to me, but also impacts the people around you. So I am so, so grateful for you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in wherever you are. Make sure you subscribe. That helps me a lot. You can also watch this conversation and be in the room with us if you join us on YouTube. But also, it's so cool that you can listen to this while you're on your run or driving or whatever you're doing. Thank you for joining. It means so much to me. And one more thing, I am so excited to share with you all the upcoming projects that I have that are launching really, really soon, depending on when you're listening to this. I have my mentorship, which is starting, which is a monthly mentorship. It can be over 12 months. Then there's events that are coming out throughout next year and coming really soon. And my Conscious Blueprint program, which you can now access as a self-paced program and course online. I believe that this is the simple foundational steps that we all need in our life to create our blueprint to then go on this journey together. It's going into gratitude, self-love, forgiveness, your values, your purpose, your mission, your vision for your life. I love sharing this. I've had a little break from it, but I'm so excited to bring it back and to now also mentor people through this process. If you want to know more about any of these things that are coming up, I suggest you joining my email list. There is a link in the show notes wherever you're listening or watching right now. And if you're on there, you'll get information from me to tell you about all of these exciting things. I love having you here, but I also love supporting you along your journey to creating the life that you want to live. So thank you so much for joining and enjoy this episode. Morgan. Hi.
Hey. Hey, Carlo.
It's great to have you here.
It's great to be here in your very high-tech studio.
It's very not high-tech compared to a lot of others, but it does the job, and I like it.
Yeah.
Feels like home.
Good energy to it.
Well, it's good energy as well because we just did something special.
We did.
What did we do?
We just got you into a bit of a theta brainwave state, and we did a gorgeous clearing. Psychic attacks, any energies that did not serve you, but then also we called back your soul fragments.
Explain a bit more for those listening.
For those listening at home, yeah, absolutely. So soul fragments, it's like, I was just saying to Carlo, it's so easy to send out not just positive energies of our own, but also negative to other people and vice versa. So we just did a really gorgeous clearing on you to call back your own energies and essentially clear away with love and light and send back to the people that have sent you those energies as well. As I said, positive and negative. And we're all capable of doing that. So we just gave you a really nice energy reset.
And I feel great. So in that, I was just sitting down, you were doing your thing. What, without going into too much detail, what you could notice things.
Yeah.
And you have the ability to sense different things.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think when we first had our coffee, I think with so much life and life changes and we go in and out of the day, we can pick up energies along the way. And even your eye contact, you weren't making that eye contact with me, and you were at elements, but I noticed that there's a level of something there that I was like, okay, we need to ground you back into your body here. And yeah, and as soon as we finish that meditation, your eye contact is like 100 out of 100 right now versus that, say, 20% earlier.
Interesting.
And that's clearing energies that are not yours.
And how do we pick those up?
How do we pick them up? We pick them up anywhere. It could be we go to, say, a low vibrational place, like where a lot of people are drinking, where a lot of, let's say, entities can hang around. But also we can just pick them up when we're at the supermarket. I don't want to like say it in a scary way, but like we can pick these energies up anywhere. And that's why it's so nice to have, it's like a spiritual hygiene. So just like we have a shower, it's like you just sage the room. There's like a level of spiritual hygiene. And at the end of the day, having that intention to wash away any energies or things that you've picked up from the day is super important to make sure that you are feeling embodied in you. And it's so easy to pick up like and surrogate like someone close to you's energy. And what I mean by that is it could be a loved one and they're really stressed and like you're feeling really stressed. And you're like, what's going on? It's not that you're taking it from them. It's like you're like copying it in a way. So just spiritual hygiene. It's kind of like what we're doing.
I think that the awareness side of that is we probably don't realize and then we think it's ours and then we take on that and then we feel whatever we're feeling. And I've noticed over just becoming more aware of it is there are times where I'll feel in my head stressed, it's something in my body and it's like, is this mine or is it someone else's? And maybe I don't have the practice of cleansing. I know in the shower, it's for me, it's somewhere where it's like, just release everything. But it's definitely, even today, just made me a little bit more, again, reminded me to be more aware of that. And you were saying even on social media, we can get that as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I think when we're in our purpose work and we are, embodying like, and you're preaching to our audience, like be that person you want to embody, and people can just send out like elements of either envy or I do get people writing on my social media really quite low vibrational comments, and then you can just pick these up along the way. Absolutely.
Man, that's an interesting one because definitely on TikTok, as inspirational as the messages have been from the podcast and little snippets, there's always some comments that, and I've noticed sometimes when I've led into them and let them affect me, I've lost sleep.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think after it happened, it's like, because I tried to respond to all of them and be like, let me reframe your mindset on this. And it's just like, if someone's in that, they're in that. It's better for me to go. And this is what I was saying to you. Like I'm taking off comments and likes on things because I'm just like, I don't need a response. But also when it does happen on a place like TikTok, it's like just remembering that it's okay. It's going to happen, but don't let it consume me.
Exactly. But also it's a great sign.
Yeah.
It's a great sign you're having an impact.
Because I relate that to the spiral of when people have a day where they wake up and maybe they wake up a little bit late and then they're rushed and then they're thinking, oh, I always do this, or I'm going to be late, or they're going to do this. Then they open their phone, they see a comment or something in the world happening, and then there's a spiral, and then they go driving to work and then they get all the red lights, and then someone cuts in front of them, and then it's like that's that spiral that so many people allow themselves to get into if they don't notice that, hey, I'm allowing this to happen. And then their whole day is shit because they let that kind of spiral into that.
But also you could be setting that intention. You like wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you go, oh my God, I didn't get enough sleep. I'm going to have a shit day today. Okay, you set that intention. You're going to have a shit day today. You saw me chatting away to myself out the front. I was setting a gorgeous intention for coming in here, and I saw you, said, I haven't finished what I'm doing, and turned back around, kept talking to myself, and then came in, and it's that intention.
Yeah.
Right? Setting that intention in the start of the day, oh, it's going to be shit. And so what happened? You got the red light, you got it this, and you just did that self-fulfilling prophecy.
You said it at coffee, where focus goes, energy flows.
Absolutely. And we're so defaulted to go, what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst that can happen? And then putting that energy into that, oh, no one's going to show up to my program. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then that energy, and then you're embodying it, and you're like, oh, goodness. What? Yeah.
So, for those that don't know who you are and what you do, tell us, who are you, Morgan? Because I've been friends with you for, I would say, what, 2-3 years?
I reckon, yeah. About that.
You've been involved in a few things that I've done, like Conscious Blueprint and maybe some other events, I can't remember, but recently reconnected and like always supported each other's journeys. But yeah, for those that don't know who you are you?
Who am I?
And what do you do?
The biggest questions. We're sent here to figure who the hell we are, right? So I'm Morgan. The question is trying not to embody just the modality that you are, right? I'm Morgan, and I suppose I help people align their frequencies to like live their best high vibe life. And that is like physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like in so many different ways. And my ways, I suppose, would be like, I love creating content, but also in my day to day and what I get to create day to day and get to embody every day is energy work using combination of kinesiology, emotions, metaphysical kinesiology to be exact, using theta healing, which you just experienced, meditation, active consciousness meditation, tuning into my spiritual team, Reiki. You kind of get to that point when you're doing this work and you just have a whole Rolodex and you just mold it into one. And so when a client comes to see me, I'm just like, okay, tune in. Where are we going here? And 2 sessions will never be the same when I hang out with a client. So we never stop learning.
Love that. And where did all this start for you? What's the background of Morgan? What brought you to this point of doing all these amazing things?
I was thinking about this, and I think it's that statement of the discomfort, staying in that discomfort. No, wait, staying in the comfort of this discomfort. There's a sentence in there. Anyway, I got really discomfortable. We were just going to roll.
Uncomfortable? Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to make that a word. We got really uncomfortable. I was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm so over feeling uncomfortable in my body, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, in all those aspects. And then just going on that journey of, okay, how can I, make my stomach better? Exploring foods. Okay, I know what my body is good to eat. Okay, and then going on, okay, mentally, what can I do? Oh, meditation. That journey with meditation is a big one though, like sitting still. And then going, okay, like this relationship isn't serving me. I'm not getting encouraged to be the person I want to be. I'm not being encouraged to be spiritual. And I really wore a cloak, people pleaser. And yeah, I got like, okay, screw this. And then I ended up meeting a gorgeous psychic, and her name's Sheila V. And then I ended up for a couple of years working with her one-on-one, and she was my first spiritual coach and mentor. But even before that, I would say like my powers, I would say, started out when I was like 12. Yeah. So hearing things when I was at youth group, and I was like, what's that place? And then, but my family's been quite spiritual this whole time, so really encouraged in that sense. But yeah, it was really around when I was about 6-7 years ago, really when I went, okay, enough's enough. Let's really dig into this. And even though Reiki, I experienced Reiki like 12 years ago, maybe 14, I've always been curious, but really it hit home about 6 years ago. And I was like, okay, spiritual coach, let's do it. Let's learn how to set a boundary. Let's do what I want to be doing and following that, because that's what lights me up, and that's what's led me to where I am. It's that curiosity and falling in love with myself. Learning too.
And do you think most people struggle with that?
Absolutely. I think our relationship with self is such an intricate one. And it's like, learn to date yourself. Take yourself out. Learn how to spoil yourself. Learn how to have those difficult conversations with yourself. Learn how to encourage yourself, trust yourself, and love yourself, and self-pleasure yourself, like in all aspects.
Why do you think we don't? Why do you think we struggle to do that?
Not necessarily we have someone demonstrating how much they love themselves from the get-go. Like, I look back on my childhood and I think my mum definitely didn't love herself. And the same with my father, enough to then in turn love from an overfilling cup, an overspilling cup. And even like, you think about school, we're not taught how to deal with our emotions and nurture ourselves through, okay, and feeling really angry. What are we supposed to do here? We're taught to kind of just shove everything down and put on a smile.
We're taught like practical, in some ways, things that have to do with living life. But I think one of the major things that we don't, it might have changed since we were at school, but one of the things is that relationship with self and how to manage our emotions and like who you are. It's like, why weren't we shown this stuff?
Well, just even negative self-talk.
Yeah.
Like, I still catch myself doing that, but like, I'm still human. And it is okay catching it and then training that muscle so it gets stronger and stronger and stronger, so that I am catching, but I'm then going, okay, now nurture myself in these moments. Okay, talk about things that I see in that mirror that I'm really proud of, and, you know, send love to myself, versus that that negative self-talk, which is bringing my vibration down. And I know we all know it's not serving us.
And is that one way that you do that? Is when you do look in the mirror, just catching yourself and going, am I picking out all the flaws?
Yeah.
And how can I reframe that into
absolutely
positives? Or,
the great method that one of my teachers along the way has said, like, okay, you say one negative thing, okay, 3 positive things, because we all hear that. Like, you wouldn't say that to your child, or you wouldn't say that to that little version of you. So it's just training yourself to catch yourself in these moments. Okay, what's something I can use in my toolkit right now? And again, if you're feeling like you're feeling sad or having a day, that is so fine to be in that. But like, when we marinate and then it gets like 2 weeks and you're still in that, like, there are moments where I'm walking along the creek and I'm just chanting affirmations of gratitude or love for myself, or if there's a situation with a friend, chanting gratitude towards them, just to kind of really get my energy and my frequency going, because we all know that gratitude can instantly lift your vibration.
Where did you discover all this? Like, you said the spiritual teacher, and then obviously you probably tried some things, but you know, you are an advocate on high vibration and shifting that vibration and, you know, whether it's through kinesiology or other things, like where did that kind of impact your life and the things that, was there a moment of like, this really works because I'm feeling it with myself?
Yeah.
Or did you see it on someone else? Or
No, it was all me. I think we are our biggest teachers. And I was singing a song this morning, Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo. Well, it's actually a mantra. But it is like I bow down to the divine wisdom and I bow down to the divine wisdom within. And it's as I keep saying, like we learn so many lessons from ourselves. And no matter like, okay, like quitting a job that was really high paying and going, okay, that just doesn't make me happy. And then taking like not even like a quarter of that pay and going off and doing something completely different in another industry. I was like, okay, no, I trust myself because I know everything's going to work out. And then like going off and then just my own elements unfolding, going, I've trusted myself before, I've proved myself before. And it is just building that trust within me that kind of was showing me, okay, if I do what lights me up, it will just take me on an absolute journey. So yeah, like I've had gorgeous teachers along the way that have gone, okay, try this. But it's until I have these own experiences myself, like someone can tell you the blueprint of something, but until you choose and experience all those elements yourself so that you have gone, I've got my lived experience, I can speak from experience. Yeah. I can't even remember the question. How did I even get, it was just life experience, just trusting myself. I think it's really learning to trust myself and put myself first and love myself and back myself. Back myself. Because you hear that no one's here to save you. And I had this gorgeous experience the other morning where I woke up and I was like upside down in my bed because I'd had a really shit sleep. And that is a hot tip. If you can't sleep, flip up the other end of the bed. I'm not saying upside down, like literally so the blood runs to your head, but just sleep up the other end of the bed. And in the morning I was feeling these things come up to the surface and I was stressing and I was worrying and I was like, this isn't serving me. So then I was like, oh, I'll call in my future golden husband because he's here to save me. I was like visualizing this gorgeous golden bubble of man. I was like, okay, what would he say to me in this moment? And then I just sat up, bolt upright, got my phone out, and I can't even, I should reread it, but it was like, no, it's me that's here to nurture me in these moments. So I laid back down, I turned over, faced the other way, and envisioned my future self or my higher self, however you wish, whatever aligns best to you. And I was like, had a chat with her because she's there. That's me backing me in that moment. No one else, not externally, just me. And I was like, that is so powerful. I was like, yeah, she's a boss. And I had a great chat.
I think this is really powerful because I think we do at times look to the external and it's like if it's that future partner or that future self different because it's still you. So when I used to meditate, it was a 20-minute meditation and it would just be binaural beats and I'd just kind of drop in. It was its own practice that I kind of made up and I'd visualize there'd be a table. I'd be on different locations, different times, but it's always this big round table and there'd be 5 people there and they would all give me advice at that point in my life. And it would be whoever I'm kind of resonating with at that time, people that I see as mentors, as leaders in the field and blah, 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 blah. It was always like Joe Dispenza, Tony Robbins, DeMartini, like stuff like that. And I'd sit there and like they'd be like, this area of my life, okay, you need to do this. And it'd feel like I'd be getting spiritual support from these people. Maybe there is a link, I don't know. But this year, especially going through, and people will be sick of me saying this on the podcast, but really tough time and really rock bottom moment. It was me sitting in the sauna and just listening to me. And you can say, for me, it was like, yeah, I do feel that connection to God, source, universe. But it was, I have the answers. And if I quieten enough, then it will come through. And even in the moments where I was getting so wound up about myself, about something like when I turned 30 this year, it was like, you're not where you wanted to be or where you expected to be, or your life is like this and you never expected it like this and blah, 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 blah. My own voice come in and was like, why are you being so mean to yourself? Like, why are you in a rush? Like, why is it not perfect the way it is right now? And And then that reminded me to be like, slow down and just my big thing's gratitude. Obviously I teach it in the blueprint, but I found gratitude even in the hardest moment was like, we'll just go back to it could be worse, but I don't want to focus on that. It could be worse, but look at what I do have.
Yeah.
And that was my own wisdom advice coming in.
Yeah.
And I think once we start to do that, we gain our power back because we don't rely on the coach or the mentor, to be that person. And I think there is moments where we might need that because we don't have it for ourselves, but the more we cultivate it through whatever these practices are, the more we regain that power.
Absolutely. And those coaches have taught me tools, all those podcasts have taught me tools, but it's you experience a tool, you see what works for you. Meditation works, it does. If chanting works, it does. If dancing works, it does. If having a conversation with your yoni, if that works, it does. Like
Who?
Your yoni, your hoo-hoo. And like just play around. And your tool could be you wrap yourself up in a blanket and that is one of your tools. But until you try it and go, this is my thing, like you called on your tools in those moments. And that's what I love so much about what I do. I get to go, okay, we've just done this, this, and this. Your homework is to embody the color orange for the next week and then just see how that pans out and do color therapy. Just get curious. I told a client the other day, like, it was coming up. I was like, something about creativity. She's like, yeah, I know I need to be creative. I'm okay, the next 2 weeks, like really incorporate that into what you're doing because that's going to light you up or that's going to stem something. Get curious, that breadcrumb, because next minute, where do you find yourself? And I think in all of this color, it's learning to champion yourself. That actually came into my meditation this morning. So yeah, champion yourself.
Because if you don't have you, then
who am I? Where am I? What am I doing?
I think that always, like, I can relate to that in terms of even through the hardest moments, it was like, okay, we got this.
Yeah.
Like, and maybe that's because of the years of you were saying train before. I wrote that down, like training yourself with, doing the tools or doing the meditations, doing the affirmations. And yeah, we can say things work at times and things don't work at times, but the training of like my mind and my mindset is so trained over 12, 13, 14 years of personal development that even in that really hard moment for me, it was like, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
You're going to move through this. It's going to pass.
Yeah.
It's tough and don't avoid it, but it's going to be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That training, it's that muscle. We don't just go do one squat at the gym and you got a booty. It's consistent and then you see those results. And I think that when you and I met was in the midst of my dark night of the soul 2.0. I had a cancer scare, endometriosis, stage 4, had to urgently egg freeze. And I remember I was so sad. And I was embodying such like that lower vibrational, and it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. And I think we don't want to shame ourselves in any of these emotions, but it was so beautiful to be so sad and just pay witness and hold it and be in it and then nurture myself out of it. I was like really like, okay, what can I do here? And I was like, happy songs. I was like, I couldn't even do gratitude. I was like, happy songs, happy movies. I'll get to gratitude when I can. I will, but it was just music. And it was like cuddling my teddy. But it was so nice too. It was so nice. Well, I look back on it, was so nice because I got to see, okay, the work that I've done previous to all of this, I get to now put into practice and see how, okay, doing these tools will then help me move through this with just such, I don't know, just being able to hold myself in that. And going into these states where they do feel like rock bottom, they allow you to expand even higher. So it's like that trampoline. The lower we go, the higher we can jump, Carlo. So you can expand even further.
And do you think each time we do go through those moments on our journey, it is expanding our capacity to hold more?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like on an energetic level as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just think, I really do. It just allows you to expand.
Because I feel after the most recent one, and not to share details because it's quite private, it's expanded my compassion.
Yeah.
For myself and others. Like, if I'm going through this and feeling this, I'm sure someone else has as well, or worse. So it's allowed me to see other people with, not that I didn't see people with compassion. I was always like, I don't know what you're going through, but I'm here sharing love with you. But it's now that I've experienced a depth, it's like, whoa, I can never know what you're feeling, but I can share compassion because it was tough for me, even in this. And I don't know what you're going through, but this was tough for me. So I can share that.
And I totally resonate. And I think that allows me to really hold space for my clients from a really deep level, because the experiences I've had along my journey so far have really been ones that I wouldn't wish upon anyone, but it has made me the woman I am today. And it has given me, I think you can look at people, even if you've just met them at Run Club for the first time, and you see them. You just say, hey, I recognize something in you, because, it's that mirror, right? I've whatever you might not know, and look, I'm not tuning into anyone's energies without permission and going, oh fuck, I can see it all, but you just recognize that vibration that is within them. Doesn't mean that they're embodying it in that moment, but you can meet absolute incredible people at all different journeys, and still you can just sense something.
I've definitely noticed when I've I was going to say become more spiritual. When I've tuned more into my own energies and energy work, you become more responsive to other people's energies. And we were talking about this at coffee, where even on social media, it's like that. If I don't feel that genuineness from someone, it's just not for me. I'm not going to say right or wrong. It's just like, that doesn't resonate with me, and I don't want to be around that or see that type thing.
Yeah.
And you do, I don't really know what kinesiology is. I kind of know what it is, but don't really know. What is it, and how do you use energy work in day-to-day life and everything you do?
Okay, so number one, what is kinesiology? So I do emotions and metaphysical kinesiology. So we use muscle testing. So that's where we tap your arm. Use you as almost a human lie detector to be guided and see where stresses are stored in your body. There could be stress in your chakra. There could be stress in your liver, your lungs. And that manifests into that disharmony and that dis-ease, and also can create those emotional imbalances. So you might be like, Morgs, I keep ruminating. And then all of a sudden we're exploring that there's an imbalance in one of your energy systems, and we bring that back into balance by using remedies. And remedies could be essential oils, affirmations. I could get you to jump up and down, or we could use feathers, or even essential oils, which I've already said that, which I brought in today because I was like, yeah, let's sniff some rosemary, because that enhances and brings in creativity. So that's kinesiology. And if you've never tried it, it's quite interesting. And your body, I got your body to show you as a human pendulum, asking it yes and no. The body is telling us so much, but we're not shown how to fully listen. We're taught about sitting there and tuning in and meditating, but actually asking and getting a yes and a no is quite interesting. But how do I use energy work in a day-to-day? Oh gosh, I think even just, so always just checking in and making my nervous systems in check, but let's bring social media into it. Sitting before I create something, tuning into my energies. What do I want to embody? Just joy, or whether that is compassion, whatever your message is in that video, embody that before you hit record. And I think that even just blessing something before it goes out, I'm just going to bless this email and may it be received with love and light, whatever you want to do, and just talking to my water before I drink it, saying I love you, I love you, I love you. There's so much study about the frequency of words, and I do love frequencies, and how you can imprint that. Even the water I feed my plants, and that's just a few of the elements that I get up to.
I smiled because I say I love you to my big fiddle leaf every morning. Kiss each leaf.
Kiss a leaf. Love that. I rubbed I've got this all of a sudden. I like on my morning walk, I find morning dew and then I rub it on my third eye, and I was like, just called to do it. No book tells me to do that, but that's just me tuning into me going, what do I want in this moment? Yeah, I want some like water leafy juice on my third eye because it feels great. Why not?
Yeah. I think that's like, so devil's advocate here. Can we be okay in life if we don't do any of this stuff? If you don't have any practices or any energy clearing or anything, can you still live life and be okay?
I reckon. Yeah. Yeah. I think it comes down to like really like embodying what makes you happy. If you've got that happiness element, like I think of my mum. Okay, that's who came to my mind, and her practices, like define practice. The way that my mum embodies life, she is just living her best high vibe life. She isn't talking about spirituality to me, but she's like, okay, I went for a walk in nature. I went swimming. She does a swim every month. She lives in Tasmania, by the way, multiple times in winter. She'll pop a Panadol and she'll go in. But she knows that works for her. And she honestly is like, she's having a great time. She's definitely had a journey, but she's having a great time. And I think her own practices, having a good giggle and doing something that she knows works for her and supports her in her mental health. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And also I'm going to say like salt water does help with clearings.
Because I only say this from a place of like, you know, I've gone very far one way, and then especially when you're in your dark moments, you're like, fuck all this.
Yeah.
Does this even work? And especially when you meet some people that are that influence you in a certain way where you're just like, I don't believe any of this stuff. I think for me, it's like once I've gone too far both ways, I've kind of come into the middle where it's like, when I do these things, I feel better. I believe it was a video I watched where it's like my plant, right, upstairs, or any plants, will grow even if you give it dirty water. It will still grow. But why wouldn't you give it good water? Like yourself. Like if your water isn't alkaline, you haven't spoken good words into it, if it's coming from rusty pipes, it'll still hydrate you. But if you could have better quality water and better frequency and whatever it may be, I'm not selling a water filter, don't worry.
Yeah.
Although, if anyone wants to sponsor the podcast, if you're doing those things and it feels better, then why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
For example, if you do yoga, if you go to the gym, like, and this is where I've really noticed there is people out there that say you need to do this or this. It's like very black and white. Like, and I remember this very clearly. There was one guy that was like, if you don't do cold showers, you're not optimizing your life. And I was like, mate, like, I don't know. Like, I know people that have probably never had a cold shower and they're doing fine.
Yeah.
But if you do it and it works for you, awesome.
Yeah. I think it comes back to like just do what lights you up, because then that elevates your own frequency. That's just what I do, lights me up. Yeah. That's it.
Because I feel people get confused because there's so much out there and everyone's sharing their things online that people go, well, if I'm not doing these 400 things in my day, then how am I going to feel good? And it's like,
I tell you what, honestly, you just do, like, I skip sometimes on my walk, and that just makes me feel great. Look, for someone in this industry, I'm not sitting there for half an hour every morning and meditating. I will check in every day, but sometimes it's just for a hot 5 minutes. And sometimes it's 15, and sometimes I just absolutely lose track of time. But if I was doing everything, including skincare, I'd have to be selling my feet pics in order to support myself. Like, I wouldn't have any time, although that would take time.
Yeah.
So do what feels right to you, because no cookie cutter routine. Yes, we look at the top CEOs and they are all like 5 a.m. club, blah, 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 blah. But create the structure that works for you. Create the tools that you've experienced that show you your own benefit. Because I like not telling people what to do other than get curious with yourself. Just get curious.
Yeah, I love that. When with your clients, I'm intrigued. I know everyone's so unique and individual, but do you see a common thread in your practice and sessions? I was going to say healings. Yeah. Do you see a common practice coming up that a lot of people are blocked with or struggling with?
Yeah, I think there's some keywords. I think it would be confidence. It would be trusting self. It would be loving yourself. I always ask my new clients, like, where are you at in your self-love scale? 10 is amazing. And I even get clients that are like, I'm an 8. But like, there is a varied people that come. I even get people that come to me and like, I'm so good, but I'm so worried that something bad's about to happen because this feels too good. There is a little bit of that, is that doubt, is that self-trust. But that's where I've been at all these stages, and that's where I would shift and change my language. I'm not going to be inviting a client to go and do a meditation if they just need to listen and dance to music, because they're at that place where their goal in the session is to just feel good. And sometimes clients are like, I don't even know what it feels like to feel like myself because I don't know myself. And so that is just like, let's get curious. What do you like? Okay, like let's look at green. Let's like think about green this week, color therapy. But then you get clients that are like, yeah, I'm vibing high. Like my spiritual downloads are coming in hot and heavy, but like, I'm like, all right, let's do this particular meditation. Let's coach you on how to navigate having a chat with your guides and what that looks like. So it's really such a wide berth, but the common thread would just, it does boil down to like coming home to yourself, trusting yourself, empowering yourself, getting curious. Yeah.
And what do you feel helps?
What do I feel helps?
In your spiritual, your toolkit, sorry, when you're working with clients, what do you feel has been, apart from what you just said?
Yeah.
Those breakthroughs, have allowed people to have those breakthroughs.
What do I think helps with clients having those breakthroughs? I think it's when they start seeing results. And in a session, it's just like I always say, like Shrek, like we're an onion, and it's layer and layer and layer and layer and layer. But after just resetting your energies or moving an emotional block that's in your way, you'll notice a shift, cleansing and getting rid of these energies or you're surrogating someone else's energies, you'll notice that things do feel lighter. Oh my God, 99% of my clients after a session, they look at me and I go, how are you feeling? They go, oh, I just feel lighter. And that will enable you to have that space, that capacity to then go off and even if it's send that email or if it's go and catch up with that friend, because energetically you feel like you have that capacity. But it's just them showing up for themselves as well. When they keep showing up, because that is a form of self-care, is them coming and seeing me. I think reminding them that they're looking like and empowering them to look after themselves and get curious, do that homework, or how are you feeling? Asking yourself, how are you feeling? Because we can go through life and not even do a self-check-in.
This is automated. We're doing the to-do list, we're doing the, whatever schedule we've got from work, from home, from gym. And you said it before, when you were like, waking up and just checking in, sometimes it's just little check-in. Yeah. How am I feeling? And I think this is why I love, you host events, meditations. There's one tomorrow night. This is coming out way after it. But anyway, can't wait for it. And I run events as well. And I ran one last week in Mildura, and it was a breath and meditation event, but it was just like coming home to your heart, connect to your heart and your body. Yeah. It's gentle. We're not doing breakthrough stuff. Well, if it happens, it happens. But I said at the start, I said, come in with an open mind, but also you're here to just give yourself 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You're busy. You've got this, you've got that. when have you given yourself 2 hours? And afterwards, people were like, some fell asleep during the meditation, which is, you know, I've come to be like, it's okay, but if you're snoring, I will touch you today.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, and the feedback is, I haven't given myself 2 hours in, 6 months. Like, that's why I like holding that space for people, because I'm like, just let this space be what you need. And whatever comes through is whatever. Don't have expectation on it, but just give yourself that time to have that space. And I feel like that's why people that do work like yourself, that run, one-on-one, what would you call it? Treatment?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, sessions.
Yeah, sessions.
It's like when, for example, I've been feeling like I really want to go to a chiropractor. If I don't do that, I'll be okay. My back isn't that sore. But once I do, and it's just that time for myself, it'll realign. Reiki, same thing. I've got a friend lives in the apartment building. Same thing, like actually booking in and going, it's just time for me. Because you do get caught up in your schedule and your life and all these different things. A lot of your work is to do with energy. Why is it beneficial for people to focus on their energy and improving their energetic field?
Energy. Okay. I think let's change it to frequency. That's probably more my language. Like, why is it important for us to be... Okay, you mentioned earlier about the friends that you're like, I don't want to be in that. I don't want to be in that field. And I think that as we sit in a vibration of whatever we're in, certain things around us that's will gravitate towards us. That is of the similar vibration. So as we learn and grow and shift, so does the world around us. And I think that it's important to embody everything and not shame yourself in whatever you're feeling. That's one thing I want to say. Like, if you feel sad, like, sit in it, like, welcome it. It's like, don't guilt yourself for being in it. But when you are feeling sad, it's like, you just notice, like, you might be starting to see, like, oh, what's this conversation? I'm bitching a bit more. I'm like, okay, this isn't me. This isn't embodying what I know serves me. It might feed some level of, like, a hit of, like, oh, this feels good. But I know in the long run, like, me speaking ill of someone, it's going to come circle back around. Like, I choose to, I suppose, dance out of that. And when I say dance, like, as I said, we're in it, but we're just going to move and shimmy out of it. And our frequency, our energy goes up and down. And I think that having a lot of clients do come to me and say that they're feeling really low energy. And it can be that they've just, as I said, they've got energies that are making them feel unmotivated or procrastinate. And it's just something that they just need to get rid of. Whether that is through just doing some aura sweeps or just to get that momentum going.
Why do you do it?
Why do I do it? Oh my goodness. I think it's because I know it helped me so much. And then it was just like, okay, this is what I need to share. And again, it's not do this. It's like, try this. Because I just got to that point where I was like, I'm not being me. And I know I'm in here somewhere. I just got to find me. And it just started with like, okay, let's just learn to look after me and put me first. Like, go for that walk or set that boundary or say no to that friend or say no to that guy, and just really start honoring and respecting myself and learning how to do that. And then just, I look at my clients with so much, I suppose, gratitude. I'm getting teary. I'm so proud of them because they're choosing them to show up for themselves in that moment. And they're the ones that booked that session because they want to make that change, because they know that they've got to that point where like, oh, something needs to change. And I've tried therapy or I've tried going for a swim and something else. I need to outsource something. And I think that's, in our own practices as well. Like I, yes, absolutely do my own kinesiology and theta on myself, but I outsource it as well. I have my healer, I have my healer and coach, and I have my naturopath, and I have my, I was going to say accountant, and I have my like extra next level clearing lady, because like it gets to a point where it's like, I can only hold space. Like, oh, someone else to hold that space for me and help me get curious and help me go deeper about learning about myself, because it enables me to be even bigger and brighter healer, because I know that there's so many elements of myself to still uncover. And that starts with my womb. There is a lot there. And that's not even a podcast. That is a Netflix mini series. Not even. It's like a whole, I don't know, series on the womb. So, yeah.
Why the womb?
Why the womb? Well, for me, as I met you in that time around endometriosis, the womb holds so much from that metaphysical point of view. And even when I went through that journey, I sat in all those different colors of that rainbow, all those different emotions, and it was feeling that shame, feeling that guilt, feeling that frustration, feeling like a victim. Why did I do this to myself? Like, I should have gone to the doctor sooner. My periods were always so heavy. I'm angry. I'm raging. I've stored it there. And it was honestly, so your womb, your sacral chakra houses everything around your relationships, around that creation. And as soon as I really reviewed my relationship with my womb at the start of the year, or over the past couple of years, there was this moment where I was like, oh, like I need to love my body, not reject my body and reject the endometriosis that's been going. I need to learn to love all versions of me. And then that's where like my business started taking off, because there was this level of acceptance and love. And then it just kind of, it's like it released stored emotion in there and enabled new things to come on in. So I released out a lot of that victim and that anger and that rage and so much around other relationships, and then embodied creation. And then that's where my business took off. And I'm like, okay, like lean more into that. And I know this is where I'm at right now. It's like there is more in my womb. And I did a gorgeous healing with my healer the other day, and the lights are on in there now. And tuning into the power of that space has been so incredible to witness, and playing with that. And that's on my personal journey right now. And just, I know that more creation is coming because I've allowed more space. I've released out and in allowing more to come in. And just like we said earlier with friends, when friends drop away, yes, it can really suck, but it enables other energies, other people to come on in to help us level up or go on that next phase that we're about to embark on.
The word that kept coming to me when you were saying that was like, when we have that resistance towards it, it creates tension and more stress and resistance really is the word. Because as you were saying that, it's like the emotions are not bad. It's just the frequency of those emotions accumulate. And that, I believe that causes more damage and problems.
Yeah.
And then when you're bringing an emotion with a frequency such as acceptance and love, of course. Like there are people, and if it's you that's listening to this now or watching, it's I can relate. There's certain aspects of my life and myself that I had so much resistance towards. I wish it was different. I hate this part. I'm not happy with this part. It is a journey to love yourself and accept yourself, but the more you go along it, the less you wake up with tension on, I wish it was different.
And that's that training of like, what is this teaching me? Not wishing it was different. It's like, okay, what's the mirror here? What is it teaching me? And that's that mindset shift. That's happening, but what is it teaching me? How has it served me? Even I had a client and it tested up in a session that she's been really like overprotective of people. And then she was like, she was shaming herself because of it. I was like, no, how's it served you? Everything has served us in one way, shape or form. And I really I've been listening to a song on repeat, and it's a brilliant song. And I was like, this is perfect to just highlight how accepting all the colors, all of the different versions of us is. And it's, I'm a bitch, I'm a lover, I'm a child, I'm a mother, I'm a sinner, I'm a saint, and I do not feel ashamed. You know that song? I'm a bitch.
Yeah. I'm trying to. I'm
bitch.
getting to the core.
Yeah, I'm a bitch, I'm a lover, I'm a child, I'm a mother, I'm a sinner, I'm a saint. And it is, I'm all of that. I am a fucking bitch to myself at times. I have been a bitch.
And I wouldn't want it the other way.
I'm a lover. I'm a lover to myself. I'm a, currently not to others, but like, bitch, I'm a lover. I'm a child. I'm an absolute child, and I'm nurturing that. And I'm a mother, and I've got that mother energy in me, and it is to nurture myself. I'm a sinner. There's definitely stuff that I've done. And look, saint, but then I'm not ashamed, and not shaming yourself in being all of those. Because it's so easy to be like quickly, oh, fuck, I fucked up. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. And then you're just like, oh, this isn't serving me.
I don't know the words in between from there to there, but that last part is, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
I'm your hell. I'm your dream. I'm nothing in between. I wouldn't want it any other way. I'm like, yeah, it's so good.
Everyone's Spotify list now is, don't go off the podcast, save it for later. But yeah, a great song. It's stuck in my head now. Because
it's been reminding me that, I'm just not rainbows and butterflies and sunshine and joy.
Everything.
Like, I'm all of it. I am a bitch. And it's like, I sat in meditation a couple of years ago, and it was like I pulled up every parent and I sat and visualized all the things that they had done to me. But then you also had to sit and visualize all the stuff you'd done to them and take ownership of that. Because we need to accept ourselves as a whole, not just the pretty bits. And so that comes back to that endometriosis. Okay, it's so in the community. Oh, like barbed wire. I hate it. Why me? Why me? Why me? Like, love your womb. It is crying out to be loved. Just like that little child inside you is crying out to be loved, the inner child work. And just all of it is just crying out to be loved and supported and held and championed.
And do you think that through your practices of frequency and energy work, has that helped you improve that?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm very cautious not to say, has it healed that? Has it done this? It's like, has it improved that?
Because for me, what I recognize triggers it is, let's start with emotions. I had a flare-up. My most recent flare-up, I recognize it's because I was going through any relationship breakdown, whether that is with, a hot lover or like a good friend. Any relationship breakdown, then it tends to be, I shouldn't say every time, I'm not going to then make an assumption and plant that seed, but there tends to be that energetic impact. And it relates to my womb. You think about, heavy period, or my period's been longer. It's because of the stress, or it's definitely, as I manage my own emotions and embrace them and sit with them and process them, that's where it goes into that sacral chakra area. But I really think loving, not rejecting, has just such a big energetic shift on it.
Just that whole statement towards yourself, loving, not rejecting.
Yeah.
So powerful.
Loving all parts of you.
Do you have a tangible, simple practice someone can do to shift their frequency?
Shift their frequency. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple. I actually packed some really cool socks to wear because I was like, that's just such a simple thing. Put on a favorite t-shirt, put on some socks that make you happy. That's one thing. You could skip. Honestly, if you got turn left, turn right. Look, if anyone's looking, do it anyway. I had a client and she skipped in the middle of Chadston. Do that. That instantly raises your vibe. But even like talking, as we said, affirmations, I'm championing myself today, or setting that intention. And even if you just need to say over and over again, I am love, I am love, I am love, or I am joy, or I'm happy, or I feel good. Chunk it right down if that's what you are wanting to embody. Just like encourage yourself in those little things. And then if you want to go bigger, you could sit into meditation and really go there. But yeah, absolutely. Just find the joy. And like, as we said earlier, in what we are doing, we get to create, but we also get to have fun. And I think it's so easy for so many of us to forget to have fun along the way. Like, oh my God, if I was on Big Brother and they were following me around, oh my word. Like, even just me in the mirror on a Friday night, like just having a good dance and boogie with myself, or a song, like you just play. I think, okay, we can simplify it down. Play,
fun, do things you enjoy. It's taking away the... There's definitely things that can be harmful in saying that, but like the fun side of things are the things that benefit you in more ways than just a tangible dollar in your account. Or, simple things. Skip. Doesn't cost you anything.
No.
Go for a walk. Get out in the sun. Go to the ocean if you live near the ocean. But those little intentional practices, I think that's the intention you set behind anything you do, even if it's not something that's spiritual, will change how you feel about it.
Absolutely. Intention. And intention.
If you had one more thing that you could post on social media, and it was your last post, it's your last message, it can be whatever you want it to be, what would that message be?
Oh, it can make me emotional. That is a good one. And hey, like, is this a 10-minute post? Like,
whatever you want it to be. It can be a reel, it can be a post. What's the message that you would want to share with people?
It just has to come down to loving you. Because, I think it's like learning to love you. Honestly. And doing that by cooking yourself a lovely meal and knowing that you're worthy of doing like a freaking 4-course spread and it's just you. Enjoying that music. Just do what lights you up. Go do that clay course, or go on that bushwalk that no one wants to go on with you. Just go do it yourself. Learn to love you and love you hard. Not learn to love you. Like, just more like, just keep loving you. Just keep on loving you and getting curious about yourself. Yeah. And I've probably said that word so many times, but yeah. It would be a video on that. And something funny and a Kath and Kim pun.
Like,
look at me. You in the mirror just saying, look at me, look at me, look at me. And that's exactly, that's just it. Me in the mirror just saying, look at me, look at me, look at me, and just looking at me. Yeah, because I tell you what, mirror work is pretty powerful.
I love that. Great message. And on mirror work, like all these things, I got thrown into these things at like 18. So I don't think I look at it as, all of this stuff, energy work, all that. Like at 17, 18, that was when I was exposed to it all. So because it's been so long, I'm kind of like, not that I don't see the power in the things, but it's like, I thought everyone does this. I thought everyone looks in the mirror. I thought everyone actually will sit, apart from brushing their teeth and putting on their makeup, will sit there and have conversations. But I'm like, no, it's not the normal thing. Like, I had, that seed was planted at an event, even the eye gazing. Like, it's something I've been doing since 18. Yes, we did it at Cold and Conscious and at my events and stuff like that, but it was something I got thrown into and I was like, oh, I thought everyone does this. But then whenever I've hosted an event and I do it and people are like, that's the first time I've ever spent that much time looking at someone, I'm like, yeah, do it with yourself.
Yeah.
You don't need someone else. And I personally think it's a little bit harder by yourself. Someone else, you can kind of lose yourself in them. But then when I've done it with myself, it's been more difficult because there was always I could always show up for someone else and I'd always kind of half do it when I was someone else because I'd be like, I'm holding space for you. I'm allowing you to have this experience. But then I went, you're actually putting up a wall to
Yeah.
allow them.
Yeah.
So then when I do it in the mirror, it's like, put the wall down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it can get really intense at times, but also really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am the opposite. I was like, I can stare at myself. Absolutely.
Really?
But looking at someone else, I'm like, oh, where is this going? But that was back then. But oh my goodness, like now, yeah, I could stare into, into your eyes, and just go on an absolute journey with you. But yeah, I use mirror work a lot in my sessions, and it's really powerful just to see everyone's reaction is so different. And some can't even lift the mirror up to their eyes and actually look.
Yeah.
But it gets easier the more the muscle.
Yeah.
It's
almost like you start anything for the first time, there's that resistance, and especially when it's yourself, there's that little bit, when you meet someone new, there's that little bit of like, got to suss them out, got to see what this is like. It's maybe a little bit uncomfortable, but then when you start to breathe into it and you ease into it, especially with eye gazing, when there's like silence, you melt into it.
Yeah. It's building that trust, leaning in, just jumping.
The listeners of this going to do some mirror work now.
Oh, what I want to say.
Oh, I love it. Where can people find you, and what cool things do you have coming up, and where can people work with you if they feel called to?
Oh, people listening. Okay. I'm Melbourne based. Online, my website's by Morgan, morgan.com.au, but
It's changed.
has it?
Wasn't it good?
That's it.
That's
part of that's part of self-discovery.
Okay.
I just kept it the same.
Yep.
And then Instagram by _Morgan. That's kind of where I have a lot of fun and just embody whatever it's going on. What have I got coming up? I've got the meditation, active consciousness meditation this Friday, which I plan to be hosting once a month because it is such a powerful meditation, activating your chakras and giving you a bit of an energy blessing and going on a journey. And then I am holding an online group this month all around confidence. So using frequencies and energy work and binaural beats, subconscious reprogramming, doing that. And then I plan to have a lot more next year. It's been a very transformative year this year. So yeah, stay tuned for next year, 2025.
And we are closing in on when this comes out. It'll be in a 2 weeks or so. So these events would have happened.
Absolutely. They've gone so well. Yeah. And I had such a great time intention setting.
Yeah, they have.
They have.
And so it is. But I'm sure there'll be more.
Absolutely.
So look forward to it.
I'm here. I'm doing my purpose work. I ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Just keep doing it. Yeah. Can't get rid of me, Carlo.
It's okay with me. No, I love it. I love your energy. I love who you are. It's been amazing to see and be a part of sort of your journey and just witness the stages that you've gone through and whether, where you were, where you are now. Like, I'm proud of you. Like, it is amazing to see that. And we have worked together on multiple different things and the program and stuff like that. But just you've taken those steps and you've, recently, like you said, once you started really accepting and loving and doing that for yourself, yes, your business took off and profile and stuff like that, but like you feel like, that new energy and that new chapter of your life, new season. And as much as life always is going to have these moments, those roller coaster moments, I'm proud of you because you're doing amazing work for yourself, but also sharing that with a lot of other people. And I think that's an amazing thing to be doing. So thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for being who you are and for sharing that with me on the podcast.
Oh, thank you, Carlo. And it is so beautiful to be on here. And it actually, it's so true. You've witnessed me in so many different versions of myself and just kind of watched me grow and accept and love and empower myself over the past couple of years because it's really been an interesting one. So, yeah, thank you. And I get to watch you and witness you in all of this too. And I'm just so excited. Excited for what's to come and what's unfolding.
Yeah, me too. Can't wait. Well, do you have any final words for listeners? Anything?
Oh my goodness.
Quick reminder.
Quick reminder. You really put me on the spot. What? It's this quick reminder. I can't even think. I've just drawn a blank. I think a really great reminder I had recently was, if you're thinking of a friend and how much you appreciate them, flick them a text and just say how much you love and appreciate them and that you're thinking of them. Yeah. Echo it out.
Love that. Love that. So simple, but so impactful for someone's day.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, for anyone that's listening or watching, if something has inspired you, if you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. I think that's where I've gained a lot of wisdom and just certain things in my life at certain points when people were like, hey, I feel like you would really enjoy this. Share it. Go across to the Instagram, The Conscious Podcast. There's going to be a lot of little clips from this that you can share around and share on your social media. You never know by planting that seed who it will impact. So yeah, I'm grateful for you being here. Grateful for you listening. If you've made it this far, you're awesome. Grateful for you. And all the links for everything will be in the show notes to connect with Morgan. So thank you. Take care. And until next time, peace.